and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and this video is my live match reaction to Manchester United 2, Granada 0. And I'm really sorry my computer's deciding to make a really loud annoying noise the second I want to go live, so hopefully the mic's not picking it up. But for some reason, whenever doing my match reaction, my webcam decides the quality to be shit and the camera to go and all of that. So hopefully the quality's good. But today's video is 5 things we learned from Manchester United 2, Granada 0. It's an instant match reaction, post-match reaction, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be live for this video, but as always, for those not watching live, I'm going to start with my 5 things we learned from the game, talking about 5 things I think we learned from the game, and then I'm going to get into the stats, the player ratings. I'm going to read out some of you guys' live chat later on, so remember to put your thoughts in the live chat. First of all, I'm obviously going to address the 5 things we learned. You know, the game wasn't a good game. We won the game. I'm happy with the result, but the game wasn't a good game. So there's so much to talk about. So I'm going to get straight into my first point in a second. But after I've talked about my 5 points, I will read out some of you guys' live chats. So keep getting your live chats in. Then I will be doing player rating, stats, analysis, and more. So like this video, subscribe down below, share this video. And yeah, let's get into the first thing we learned. So the first thing we learned, which is on the screen, is I think Ole got away with one today. Ole got away with one today in 2 ways. Was the penalty a penalty? Probably not. Were we a bit lucky? Were Granada probably the better team? Probably yes. They probably tested De Gea more than we tested their keeper. And should Rashford have played? No. Ole took a risk playing Rashford because we know Rashford's going to play versus Spurs. And luckily Rashford scored. Rashford was clearly injured from minute 1. Rashford should have come off. And Ole got lucky. He played Rashford, Rashford scored. But Ole got very lucky with that. Because, you know, Ole is a lucky manager. We all know Ole's a lucky manager. Ole is one of the luckiest managers out there. And today I think we were lucky. I think we didn't deserve to win 2-0. I don't think it tells you a genius say that. But I think we were lucky. And I think Ole got away with one. You know, Rashford was clearly injured. As Baron's commented down below, an injured Marcus Rashford is already clear of Sterling. To be fair, this season, Rashford's got 20 goals. Underrated player, Marcus Rashford. But yeah, literally, I have to say, Ole got away with one. Ole is a lucky manager. Rashford needed a rest. I'm going to talk about Ole's subs later on in my second point. But I think the first thing we learned from the game is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got away with one. If you think Ole got away with one, hit that like button, subscribe down below if you're new. So my man of the match is Victor Lindelof. Now, I was saying in my live watch along, if you're watching my live watch along, that I thought Victor Lindelof was brilliant. Now, guys, I hope there's no problem with the camera quality or mic, so just let me know in the comments if there is. But I thought Victor Lindelof was brilliant. He got the assist on the Rashford goal. It was an absolutely brilliant assist. And that's not the first time Victor Lindelof has done that. He's done that once or twice before. He did a long ball assist on the Rashford goal. And I have to say, Rashford, considering Rashford played injured and he scored and he took that goal so well, you have to give a round of applause to Rashford. He's playing injured. It's 10 times harder for him. And he took the goal well, he scored, and he gave it his all for the club. So you have to give Rashford credit where credit is due. But Victor Lindelof is my man of the match. And I will get into Victor Lindelof's stats and read out his game numbers and stuff. So stay tuned for that. But I also thought Alex Telles was brilliant. I think when Alex Telles came on at halftime, hopefully, fingers crossed, Luke Shaw's not injured. But, you know, defensively, he's a little bit sus. But Alex Telles put 2 or 3 really good crosses in. Alex Telles' cross is what won us the penalty. You know, Alex Telles was only on for 45 minutes, but his delivery was brilliant. I don't think Alex Telles put in a bad delivery. And I just thought, if Cavani had come on at half-time for Rashford, would have Cavani got ahead on one of those Alex Telles deliveries? Let me know what you think below. If you're not watching live, remember, I will read and reply to a lot of my comments, so don't worry about that. And I will address the live chat in a minute, but I want to get into my third point. The third thing we learned from the game was it was not a good performance, and we did not create many chances. Again, this is another game where I've watched Man United play, and we haven't created many chances. You have Bruno, you have Pogba on the pitch, but Man United are not creating chances, and it really frustrates me because it was boring. It was Mourinho-like football, because this is another performance where Man United have not created chances. Like, when did we test the keeper? Tell me a time where the keeper was making save after save after save, because he wasn't. When we lost 2-1 to Sevilla in the Europa League, Bruno was making save after save after save after save. He was man of the match. I feel like we've taken a step backwards from last year because there wasn't a point when we were creating chance. And it's the 5th, 6th game in a row where Man United have not created a chance. We've gone to this more 2 CDMs, to pressing football back again, to, I don't know, protect the centre-backs. But we were running out of ideas. It wasn't just that we weren't creating chances. The reason we weren't creating chances was because there was too many sideways passes from Manchester United. Too many sideways passes. We got the ball, we slowed it down. McTomminay gets the ball, touch, slows it down, passes it sideways. There was too much sideways passing. There was a massive lack of creativity. And with a team with Bruno and Pogba, you expect us to be creating chances. And Man United can't beat the low block. We need a right winger like Jadon Sancho, but hell, we need a CDM. We have a top CDM like Declan Rice that will free up McTomminay, will free up Bruno Fernandes. and they can maybe a lot more, break more lines. I just looked at Donny van de Beek and I was like, bring Donny van de Beek on to break the lines, Ollie. Bring Donny van de Beek on to break the lines. Because Man United did not create many chances. We got 2 goals out of nowhere. We got 2 goals out of nowhere. We were lucky. We took our chances, but they tested De Gea more than we tested our keeper. We did not create chances. And it's again, we're watching Man United play this Mourinho-style boring football. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the win. Look, my third point is not a good performance. Look, I'm happy with the result, but I'm not happy with the win because it wasn't a good performance. We were not creating chances. And if you agree with me, slap that like button. I'm going to get to my 4th point, which is why did Matic come on before Donny? Matic came off of Pogba, so we went more defensive at 1-0 up. And I'm thinking this is a Granada team that we are so much better than. This is a Granada team that we are so much better than. Are we turning into Mourinho? Instead of going for a 2-0 win, Ole wanted to keep a clean sheet, so we won 1-0. Instead of going for a 2-0 win, Ole wanted to keep it safe so we could win 1-0. And he brings Matic on for Pogba. Donny van de Beek should be coming off of Pogba, not Nemanja Matic. Donny got on eventually 10 minutes later, but Donny van de Beek should be coming off for Pogba, not for Matic, because we don't want Jose Mourinho. We sacked Jose Mourinho for a reason, but Ole was more interested in protecting the 1-0 win than going for the 2-0. And for me, I'm so lucky we got the 2-0 because Maguire's out in the next leg, McTominay's out in the next leg, and Luke Shaw's out in the next leg. And you go into the next leg 1-0 up, you're scared. Now we go in 2-0 up, they have to score 3 goals. So we're missing key players, but I'm really glad we got the second goal. But Ole didn't go for that second goal. The fact that he took Pogba off Matic, Ole wanted to win 1-0. He didn't go for the second goal. And this is the 3rd or 4th time. I mean, this is the 50th time this season. Honestly, it feels like the 50th time where Ole has protected the 1-0 lead. He's not gone for the second goal. He's played defensive Jose Mourinho football, and we haven't created stuff. I think you have to admit, we are lucky. Ole is the luckiest manager in the world because there's so many games where we can have a poor performance and we win. And I'm worried this is going to catch up to us. This is Granada. They've lost 3 games in a row. They're a La Liga team. They cost 8 million. Granada have conceded the most goals in the whole of La Liga. Most goals in the whole of the Liga, and we barely tested our defence. We just took our chances. We barely tested their keeper. And I will get into the stats in a minute. Once that's just my 5th and final point, I will get into the stats, but it was not good enough from Manchester United. We won the game, so we can be happy about that. I think the tie is done, and we'll talk about that in my 5th point. But Ole's subs were questionable. He was too defensive. He wanted to protect the 1-0 lead. Negative football, lucky Ole again, not creating chances, not passing the ball quick enough. McTominay's not a CDM, a cry out for creativity. God, I hope we signed Declan Rice. I did a video about Man United really close to signing Declan Rice, apparently, so check that out after this. But guys, please hit that like button as we get into our 5th and final point. And once I do my 5th and final point, I will read out some of you guys' live chats. Then we'll do player ratings, look at the stats, and more. So stay tuned. And if you're not live, don't worry, I'll reply to your comments. But the 5th and final thing is, tie is done thanks to lucky penalty. It's a penalty in a way because it wasn't a clear and obvious error from the ref. But were we lucky? Yes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm happy you were a lucky manager. You need luck sometimes because we didn't have luck against Sevilla and we played brilliant when we got knocked out of the Europa League last year. This year, I think Granada were a better team. Granada are crap, but I thought they were the better team. De Gea had a lot more to do than their keeper. But the tie is done thanks to a lucky penalty because I do not think Granada will score 3 goals against us. Yes, we'll probably be playing a back line of Telles, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Does that worry you? Yes. McTomminay can't play, so he'll probably have Fred and Matic sitting deep. Does that worry you? Yes. And bite on pressure? Yes. It is not great. The ref was a twat. We booked so many players. Maguire and Luke Shaw probably weren't bookable fouls. The ref was a bit of a prick. But the ref was also gave us a penalty that arguably wasn't a penalty. That penalty came from a brilliant Telles cross, and we will talk about Telles. And everyone put in the live chat who your man of the match is. Put in the live chat who your man of the match is, so we'll read that out. But the tie is done. I think we are through. I think it's safe to say we are through. 2 away goals. You score, we're done. But, I'm happy with the result, as I said. But Donny should have come off with Pogba, my first thing. Ole, we played negative football. It looked like we were trying to counter-attack. It was Dan James Greenwood, Cavani, whoever was playing up there had no service. Lindelof provided the best service to bloody Rashford. Lindelof was brilliant today. But yeah, they're my 5 things we learned. I'm now going to go and address some of the live comments, read out some of you guys' live comments. So get your live comments down below. Then we'll do the player ratings and we'll also look at the stats and the game numbers. But I've missed out a lot of live comments. So who was my man of the match? My man of the match was Lindelof. Steve says 2-0 good score, tie finish the way it stands. Man United Roma in 2007. I remember Man United beat Roma 7-1. I actually remember that. Richard Drew says my man of the match is definitely the streaker. Most exciting thing to happen all game, and I didn't even see it because I was on Twitter. This guy says why Mo Salah was running naked. Fernandes, he scored a penalty. You know what? He was one of our better players because everyone was shit. No, well, he's an average player. It wasn't one of our better ones. This guy says, hello, Alice. At least we scored 2 goals. I had slept. I watched the second half, maybe at 63 minutes. It was such a dead game, but we scored 2 goals. And look, I'm happy with the result. I'm not going to be super negative because we won and I think we're through. But look, this guy says, I think Ole's a bad manager. And you know what? I think Ole is coming very pub-style Mourinho. I think Ole is playing very pub-style Jose Mourinho because that football was so negative. And it's the 6th, 7th game in a row where United have created no chances, played negative football and been lucky. The reason we're lucky is because you have players like Rashford, Bruno, Pogba on the pitch. Our squad is 10 times that of Granada's. So we're bound to win, even with no tactics, whatever that was from Ole. Mohan says, same old problems repeat for Man United. You need to buy well in the summer or else Ole will go. I think Ole will be sacked by Christmas if he doesn't get back in the summer. Just like Jose Mourinho when he finished second. We will probably finish second, but I think Ole will be sacked at Christmas if we don't get back. I think we need Declan Rice, we need Jadon Sancho, and we need Jules Koundé. Ole doesn't rate Donny. I agree. The fact that he brought on Matic, and whenever Matic has played, he's been awful. Over Donny was worrying. And I think he brought on Matic because he was being all Jose Mourinho, let's protect this 1-0 lead and bring on Matic and not score another goal. But if I was Ole, I'd bring on Donny because whenever Donny's played, he's not done a bad job. He gets in the way, he passes quickly, he can break down lines. And I would have gone for the 2-0. And I'm so glad we're going into the second leg 2-0 because I think the tie's done. But if we went in 1-0 with Luke Shaw, Maguire, and McTomminay missing, we could easily bottle that. It would be classic United to bottle it. This guy says, Ole needs to get a brain and learn from his errors. He's lucky to have the Glazers as his employees. I don't think he's lucky to have the Glazers from his employees. But Ole will play McTomminay at the CDM role after bad performance. McTomminay is not a CDM. I could have done this as one of the 5 things we learned. Scott McTomminay is not a CDM. Pogba didn't have any license to go forward because McTomminay is not a CDM. Fred isn't a CDM either, but he's a little bit better than McTomminay defensively. McTominay's better going forward than Fred any day, but Fred's better defensively. So Fred, Pogba, Bruno is my best midfield 3 for United. Comment what you think Man United's best midfield 3 is. Steve said, been a good night of football, especially with scores. I mean, Arsenal lost, so that was quite funny. The fact that we got a penalty and then Arsenal conceded a last-minute goal to Slavia Prague made the last 5 minutes of the game very enjoyable. Granada masterclass and bound. Honestly, nothing would surprise me with Manchester United. Nothing would surprise me, Kieran. Lindelof, man of the match. I agree. Everybody comment your man of the match. Donny van de Beek is underrated. Give him to adjust way better than Greenwood. Donny should be playing. Donny should be playing at the pivot, in my opinion. I think next season, if Pogba goes, Rice, Donny, Bruno should be the midfield 3. Another person says Lindelof, man of the match. I agree. Lindelof was brilliant. I thought Tellers was really good in the second half, and I'll give him credit. Steve says result was the main thing. Never going to be easy. Win away from home. Hard part done. I'm glad we got the 2 away things. I think that we can be angry with the performance, the same mistakes from Ole, the same errors, the same stupid subs, but we won the game. Like we didn't play well. Did we deserve to win? No. Did Granada deserve something from the match? 100% Granada deserves something from the match. But at the end of the day, we won the match. So we can complain, we can be salty, we can be moody, but we won the match. Donny should come to Everton. He'd probably be a start for you. Donny's good enough to start for Man United. He's better than McTomminay. He's better than Fred. He's better than Matic. But Ole just doesn't play him. Boring football. We are miles away from PSG and Bayern. I agree. I actually agree. That's a weird noise. A weird noise is just coming out. I just agree. I worry about Ole. I've seen what Ole can do. We saw Ole when he was interim manager. We saw Ole just after the coronavirus break when Man United were playing brilliant football. Ole has it in him to play brilliant attacking football, but he's playing it safe, and I don't like it. Maybe if Ole gets a good summer with Rice and Sancho, we'll see brilliant football. Maybe we're not playing our best because of McTomminay isn't a CDM. Maybe, we're carrying a dead player in McTomminay. Maybe Lindelof and Maguire are vulnerable. We have to sit deep and protect them. But if we get a quick centre-back and a CDM in the summer, there's no excuse for Ole. Ole's excuse is we don't have a quick CDM, we don't have a centre-back, we've got a few injuries, we're missing a key right winger. But there's not many excuses for Ole anymore. And I worry that if Ole does not get back in the summer, he will be sacked by Christmas because we were lucky today. We didn't play well. We were almost outplayed and we were lucky. And luck can only stick with you for so long. And I worry that Ole could be second and be sacked by Christmas like Mourinho because we were lucky today. And will we win the Europa League on luck? Who knows? I hope we win the Europa League and I think we are through. Ole won't be sacked if he's challenging Mourinho was sacked 9 points out top 4. And you make a good point, but when you think about the summer, Van Dijk's going to be back for Liverpool. Liverpool are going to improve. Chelsea are going to improve. Thomas Tuchel's going to get back. Man City, of course, are going to be the top. Those 3 are guaranteed top 4. I don't think we're going to make progress unless we have a good summer. And if we don't have a good summer and we continue to play like this, I think Ole will be sacked. Depends on who you play in terms of quality. Pogba, Bruno, Donny. Pogba, Bruno, Donny are our 3 best midfielders. But Donny can't get the minutes and it frustrates me. Big Ron says, no McFred and we were still poor. You make a good point, but McTomminay. The thing about McTomminay is he's not a CDM. So he makes Pogba worse. Fred is the best person to play in the CDM role at the moment because Matic is done and McTominay's crap. And Fred is the best. I think Fred, Pogba, Bruno is our best midfield three, in my opinion. And like if you agree with that. Mohan says Man United fans are man of the match for their patience in watching the game. I agree with you, Mohan. It was such an annoying game to watch. You know, if you're new to the stream, you can stroll back from my 5 things we learned. But watching that game was so boring because we did not create chances. It wasn't like, oh, so close, end-to-end stuff. It wasn't like the 6-2 when we watched Leeds. It was Man United underperforming, couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't keep possession for more than 2 minutes. Giving the ball away, stupid, sideways passing, backwards and forwards. Boring Man United. And because we have so much quality over Granada, we win 2-0. We get lucky. But I think Granada were the better team. Diego says the second away goal, very crucial. 100% agree. You know, I think the tie is done because of that Bruno penalty. But if it was 1-0, my match reaction would be a different story. Because I'd be saying, guys, I'm worried for the second leg if it was 1-0. I'm worried. You know, we haven't got Luke Shaw, we haven't got Maguire, we haven't got McTomminay to sit and defend my defence. So, but I think 2-0 means we're safe. We can still bottle it, but that second goal is so important, guys. Like that's we'll find out how important that second goal is in the second leg. But for me, I think it's crucial. Steve says Donny could play on Sunday because I expect rotation, especially we got Spurs on Sunday. Steve, Donny should play, but he won't. It'll be McFred, and Pogba will be shipped to the wing against Spurs. I tell you this now. Hamad says Ole to unleash his energy centre back in the second leg. You know what? I think our centre back partnership because Bayer's got COVID. I think it could be Axel and Lindelof in the second leg. And bear in mind when we didn't have Maguire versus PSG, Axel and Lindelof actually did pocket Mbappe and Neymar. So I'm not worried about Axel Tuanzebe and Lindelof playing together because my underrated opinion is Axel Tuanzebe has pace and Lindelof is a good centre back. He just doesn't work with Maguire. Lindelof with Bailly is good. Axel Tuanzebe has pace. I think Lindelof and Tuanzebe will be a good pairing. I think Lindelof and Tuanzebe will be a good pairing, and I'm not worried about Maguire missing the game. I'm really not. I'm worried about Luke Shaw not being there because they won't have that extra defensive stability because, you know, Tellers is more of a Trent kind of player. But my underrated opinion, my unpopular opinion, is that Lindelof and Axel would be a good centre-back pairing. But, you know, I could be wrong. We could say big game against Spurs on Sunday. Yeah, I will be talking about the Spurs game tomorrow in my match preview. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe because I'm doing a match preview to Spurs, Manchester United tomorrow. A massive game. Don't know what that says. There was no McFred. We were still poor. Why couldn't Pogba and Bruno create? The reason Pogba and Bruno couldn't create is because McTominay's not a CDM and he can't hold on his own. Pogba had to sit really deep and do the same job as McTominay because McTominay couldn't do it, which meant that Bruno got starved of the ball because we couldn't play out the lines, we couldn't play out the back to them. And we really need a top CDM. I think that game really shows we need a top CDM. Someone says Solskjaer out ASAP. Look, we won the game, but lucky Man United. Alice, I will be getting into my player ratings, so stay tuned for that. We will be addressing my player ratings. I just wanted to get some of the live chats out of the way. I think he could, if this continued, if he doesn't get back, I think he'll be sacked by Christmas. But the summer transfer window will be massive for Manchester United. It will tell us a lot. But stay tuned for my player ratings and we'll be looking through the stats. Who has been Man United's best and worst player this season? Best is between Shaw and Bruno. Worst, and the thing is, you could say Donny and Axel Tuanzebe because they barely played, but I'm saying consistently worse. I think Martial's underperformed the most. Good result for us, but Jesus, what a shit game. Completely agree. Weird, McTomminay is statistically one of the best CDMs in the league. I don't get it. I watch him play, he's crap. It's not all about the stats. McTominay's good as a box-to-box, but not CDM. If you play like that against Tottenham, we're in trouble. I mean, Tottenham are crap, but look, lads, it's Spurs. But they beat us 6-1. If we play like that against Tottenham, we could lose because Højbjerg is a bloody good player. Højbjerg's better than McTominay and Fred, in my opinion. At least Maguire's rested. You make a good point. What are the chances we'll get Declan Rice? Well, I did a video on Declan Rice. The Athletic, a really reliable source, says United are going to use Lingard to try and get Declan Rice as we need a CDM. I agree with that one there. And yeah, let me get into my player ratings. Now, before I get into my player ratings, guys, let's go and look at the stats and then we'll get into the player ratings and then I will read out some of your live comments once again. But let's get into the stats. So hopefully you can see that. You can see that, right? Let me move that. You can all see that. That's good. That's all on your screen. So they've given Victor Lindelof man of the match, which I'd 100% agree with. Victor Lindelof was my man of the match. Let's look at his game numbers. He got an assist. He made 4 clearances. He didn't really have that much to do, to be fair to him. He won all his sort of duels and his aerial duels. You know, he made 1 foul, 90% pass accuracy, a key pass. He did a few long balls. He created a big chance. Yeah, Victor Lindelof did nothing wrong defensively and brilliant assist. Yeah, Victor Lindelof, fairly man of the match. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka did nothing going forward, but Wan-Bissaka had a good game. 4 clearances, 3 interceptions, 3 tackles, wasn't dribbled past, dealt with them really well. We had no trouble on our right-hand side. Like, Lindelof had nothing to do because Wan-Bissaka was making all the tackles, really. Maguire had a little bit more to do, got a silly yellow card, but I don't think Maguire was bad today. He got a dribble pass once. He didn't. For me, the worst players were Scott McTominay, I think, was crap. Again, look at the 85% pass accuracy when you're sitting as deep as McTominay does half of the time. But he made a key pass, but look, he just it wasn't coming off of McTominay. 4 out of 7 duels won there. Possession lost 13 times. 3 fouls. Got a yellow card. Wasn't a good game for Scott McTominay. Daniel James didn't have a great game, but he had none of the ball. I mean, Daniel James actually got better in the second half. Daniel James definitely grew in the second half, putting a few good crosses, to be fair to him. Created a big chance. He did create a big chance, to be fair to him. Mason had no service. Poor game from Mason. He lost the ball a lot. Look, possession lost. The thing is, Mason Greenwood lost the ball 14 times in the final third. Scott McTominay loses the ball 14 times in our defensive half. So for me, Scott McTominay was worse than Mason Greenwood for the amount of times that Scott McTominay lost the ball. And don't worry, I will be getting into my player ratings. Considering Rashford was injured, I'd give him a 10, honestly. But I will get into my player ratings. But again, I thought Tellez was good. Don't know why he got 6. Why did Tellez get a 6.4 and Matic and Donny get a 6.6 when for me, Tellez was better? Don't get that. Yeah, I mean, these player ratings don't mean much, but I just use it to look at the stats. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get into my player ratings, guys. Get into the player ratings, and then I will address some of the live chat. So stay tuned. So let's share my screen for the player ratings. Remember to put your player ratings down below. But we're going onto the United Stand website for the player ratings. So David De Gea, guys. David De Gea. What do you rate David De Gea? Now, for me, David De Gea actually had quite a lot to do, and some of the saves I thought were quite difficult. They spinned, Kennedy hit a few good shots, but they're all saves you expect him to make. If David De Gea doesn't make those saves, you're marking him down. For me, he's a 6.5. For me, he's a 6.5, but I'm going to give him a 6. He's a 6. Everyone's giving him a 6.5. For me, put David De Gea down below. I'm 20 years old, by the way. For me, David De Gea is a 6.5 because I'm going to give him a 6 because I think that all the saves you expect him to make, but he had to make a few saves. We will look at the game. We'll look at the match stats. After I've done my play ratings, we'll look at the match stats and compare the saves De Gea had to make compared to their keeper. Wan-Bissaka was one of our better players. Again, did he contribute to anything going forward? No, but he did his defensive job perfectly. So again, Wan-Bissaka is a 6.5, edging 7 for me. But because he didn't contribute anything going forward and it was a mediocre game for Man United, I have to give him a 6. But he was definitely one of our better players. 5.8, I think that's below. Lindelof, 7 for me. Definitely man of the match, I think. Absolutely brilliant defensively, brilliant assist. I mean, if Lindelof's your man of the match, hit the like on the video. Let me know who your man of the match is in the live chat. Maguire, I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he put a foot wrong. He just got that yellow card, but I think the ref was a prick for that. Luke Shaw was only on half the time, a 6. McTominay for me, 4. 5, generous. For me, McTominay was a 4. Pogba was a 5. What would you give Pogba and McTominay? Because I just think Pogba did a little bit more than McTominay. You know, McTominay just was giving the ball away all the time, foul after foul. You know, for me, I'd say someone says Maguire 7. I think I'm not giving many 7s because of how poor we were. I'm not giving many 7s because of how poor we were. But I think for me, McTominay was one of the worst players on the pitch. He just gave the ball away a lot. Fernandes, I'm giving an average 6. I think, you know, he didn't really do anything wrong, but it wasn't one of his best games for his standards. He won the penalty, he scored the penalty. He's probably the reason we're through to the next round, Fernandes, because he won and scored the penalty. You know, he kept trying, he kept trying things off, but he's playing with no one for a chance. So Fernandes, definitely a 6. Dan James, if it was the second half, I'd give Dan James a 6. Because, to be fair, I know he had no service, but when he did have the goal, he did good things. He did that good pass into Fernandes. He put a few good crosses in, but the first half was a 5. I think I have to give him a 5. Rashford, because basically Rashford's a 6, but because Rashford was playing injured and he shouldn't have been playing and he scored a goal, I'm giving him a 7 because he was playing injured, guys. What would you give Rashford? For the pure fact that he was injured, I'm giving him a 7. I agree with this. I mean, I didn't even see the striker, but it was probably the best bit of the match. For me, I'm giving Rashford a 7 just because he played with an injury. The fact that he had to play with an injury, for me, Rashford is a 7. Greenwood, I think, has to be a 5. He didn't have. It's not really his fault, but he lost possession quite a bit. For me, I thought Tellez was good. Yeah, I'm only going to give him a 6 because he only played 45 minutes, but I'd give him a 6.5. I thought Tellers was good. Cavani, he didn't do anything, let's be honest. Matic, it just wasn't good. We'll give him a 6. He wasn't on long enough. Wasn't good. Donny, 10. Nah, I'm joking. Donny's a 6. Let's be honest. Donny's a 6. Streaker, 10. Like, yeah, I love that they included that. Streaker was definitely like the best thing to come from that match, and I didn't even see it because I was on bloody Twitter. Ole, now you win the match, so you're thinking 6, but we didn't play well, so I can't give him a 1, 2, 3, or 4 because we won the match. What do you give Ole out of 10? Because I can't give Ole a 1, 2, 3, or 4 because we won the match. But it wasn't good from Ole. The subs were poor, the football was bad. I think we were going to protect the 1-0 lead rather than score 2. So I'm going to go below average 5. Okay, let's submit my vote. Man of the match was Streaker. To be fair, it was a dead game, guys. It was an absolutely dead game. I'm going to read some of you guys' live chat. Like, I'm going to go read out some of you guys' live chat because, you know, let's make the stream a bit more interesting. So get your live thoughts down below. I've done my player ratings. If you missed my player ratings or the 5 things we learned, you know, scroll back to the beginning of the video and I cover that. And I'm doing this weird voice again. But let me share my screen with you once again. Let's look at the stats. I mean, like the game stats, not the player stats, you know. So let's look at us. So we had 68% possession, guys. We had 68% possession. But we had 13 shots, but we both teams had 3 on target, but their shots on, like 2 of our shots on target were the goals. They had 3 shots on target, didn't score. You know, we had 5 block shots to their 2. They had 11 corner kicks to our 5. We committed... See, this is the funny thing. See, they committed 14 fouls. We committed 12 fouls. But which team gets 4 yellow cards and which team gets 2? Can you believe that? We got 5 yellow cards from 12 fouls and they get 2 from 14. What a joke. What a joke. So Granada, 14 fouls, 2 yellow cards. Man United, 12 fouls, 5 yellow cards. Matic got booked. Pogba got booked, Scott got booked, Luke Shaw got booked, and Harry Maguire got booked. And we should have only got 2 yellow cards that game. The fact that they got 2 yellow cards from 14 fouls and we got 5 yellow cards from 12 fouls, an absolute joke. Now, to be fair to us, we had 3 big chances and we missed one of them. To be fair to us, we had 3 big chances, but those big chances were the penalty and the goal. They didn't create any big chances, but they definitely tested De Gea more. Now, the reason I say that is, you know, the stats and all of that, but when you watch the game, I think Granada tested De Gea a lot more than we tested them. And the thing that frustrated me is Granada have the worst defence in La Liga. They just lost 3-0. They'd lost their last 3 games. And we barely ran at the defence. We barely tested the defence because we couldn't get out on midfield and we were sloppy with the passing. You know, they had 2 counter-attacks to our none. Like, I think we wanted to counter-attack them, but they sat so deep it didn't work. And I think the thing that frustrated me about Ole is he didn't change it up. It wasn't working, but he didn't change it up. We had 8 shots inside the box though, but I mean most of them were blocked, and we had 5 shots outside the box. Now obviously we had a lot more possession and a lot more passing, but look at this for a stat. I mean 36% of dribbles completed. We lost the ball so much. We lost the ball way too much. It was actually embarrassing. I mean they made 24 tackles, 10 interceptions, but I mean, statistically, it was an equal game. And if you're going off the stats and watching the game, like, to be fair, a fair result would be 1-0. If you're going off the stats and watching the game, a fair result is 1-0. Because, like, for me, it wasn't a penalty. You know, if you look at the game and you predict a result from the game, it would be 1-0. But we won 2-1, and we were very lucky. So get your chats in the live chats. I'm going to read out some of my live chats before I end the stream. But, guys, I have to say we were lucky. Let me scroll up. Diego says a clean sheet gives hope for the next round. 2 away goals means they have to score 3. So that would be big once I got a text. So I'm going to wind up the stream in the next 5 minutes, by the way. Now, people say Ole a 5. Referee gets a 1. Yeah, I think the referee does get a 1. I mean, it was weird because we got 5 yellow cards from 12 fouls. Every other foul was basically a yellow card. But then 1 in 7 of their fouls was a yellow card. And for me, it was like, does he want to like get as many players banned from the second leg as possible? Now, a lot of people were saying McTomminay getting a yellow isn't a big loss, but it could be because we could be playing Matic and Fred in the pivot. The next comment says, Ole is rubbish. Let's be honest. I agree. And Tom Fitcher says we should be putting Granada to the sword by the Spanish Stoke. I mean, yeah, to be fair, Granada were poor. They were at the Spanish Stoke. Let's read this. Prem stats say we're already created more big chances this year. We need Haaland. Bruno Fernandes has created the most big chances in the Premier League. But as a team, I don't think we have created the most. You know, Bruno Fernandes created the most big chances in the Premier League, but as a team, we haven't created loads. Maguire, Shaw, and McTomminay are out. Maguire and Shaw are big losses to the defence. Well, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I weirdly think my unpopular Man United opinion is that I think Lindelof and Tuanzebe would be a good centre pairing. People think I'm mad, but Tuanzebe's got the pace to go with Lindelof, you know. It's my unpopular opinion, but I do think Lindelof and Tuanzebe would be a good centre pairing. And if you agree with me, hit that like button, of course. Feel free to get chat soon. Good work, Alice. Thank you very much. This guy says, very happy with the result, but I see no difference to what Jose was doing at United 3 years ago. If Ole doesn't quicken the tempo and needs to be more adventurous, he isn't going to last 12 months. I agree. If Ole doesn't change things up, no, this is my opinion. If Ole doesn't get back in the summer and we continue the way we are, Ole will be gone by Christmas, like Jose Mourinho was when we finished second. If Ole gets back in the summer and he maybe gets a CDM, then I can see Ole changing up a bit. You know, I think if we get a CDM, we will play more expansive football. But I think Ole's future depends on if he gets backed. But he does have to change things up. He needs to play Donny more, and I'm not just saying because I love Donny, but he needs to, just things Ole does is very naive. Fantastic result, but what's the difference to Jose 3 years ago? This football is diabolical. Granada aren't even that good, and they've been the better football side again. I agree. It's weird because Granada are crap, like they are. Like they play well, they have a good manager, but look at their team compared to ours. They've got the Wolves reject in defence, the worst defensive record in the league, and they played better than us, I think. The ref was dodgy, yeah. And it was like he knew that McTomminay, Shaw, and Maguire were like a yellow card away from being banned from the next leg, because it's like a second McTomminay, Shaw, and Maguire made a foul, he gave them a yellow card. It was like the first foul he gave them a yellow card, and it was like he knew that a yellow card would stop them being in the second leg. And it was like the ref was dodgy. It was like the second Maguire makes a foul, I'm going to book him so we can't win the next leg. Second McTomminay makes a foul, I'm going to book him so we can't win the next leg. I agree. That pass from Lindelof was fire. Steve says, Man U got a very good chance to win Europa League next season. Man U must go far in the UCL. Mate, I hope we get past the group stage of the UCL next season. Ole wasn't good enough tonight. Far too late making subs. Absolutely agree. Baron says Arsenal is just shit. We all know Arsenal shit. We have to look at the scores. Let's go look at the scores in a sec. Well, you guys probably know the score. Mourinho was 9 points out of top 4 at Christmas. Ole won't be. Hopefully you're right. But if we don't get back to the summer, will our luck run out? Because I have to say, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been a lucky manager. And if he doesn't get back to the summer, will this luck of playing bad but getting that goal versus Brighton, will it pay off? Can this luck continue to Christmas? Because I just feel like you can be lucky for so long. Dalaran says the ref was dodgy as well, giving straight yellow cards to us, literally. And it was like there wasn't even a yellow card offence. And they kept kicking Rashford. The amount of times they fouled and kicked Rashford, and they were such divers. They were such bloody divers. We had one shot on target and the penalty. Ajax lost. Ajax lost and conceded 2 away goals, which means it could be Roma in the next leg, which I'd rather have Ajax because Roma just plays such negative football. Glad we won, but I'm still confused why we got a pen. Yeah, for me it was a penalty. One sec, I'm going to Google something. Give me a second. Europa League. Let me share my screen with you guys. You see that? Okay. Oh, I've done it in the wrong screen. One sec. Where am I? Here I am. Europa League. Let's look at the scores in a sec. Let's look at the scores quickly. So Arsenal, 1-1. Villarreal 1-0. I think Villarreal will go through. They got the away goal. I think we'll be playing Roma, but again, it's 2 legs. Anything can happen. When Barcelona beat Liverpool 3-0, took them to Anfield, they lost 4-0. Anything can happen. Dinamo Zagreb were 2-0 down to Spurs. Away from home, and they won 3-0 and they got through. Anything can happen. So Granada, we could get Spurs. Granada could come to Old Trafford and win 3-0. How embarrassing would that be? We could get Spurs. But the 2 away goals, you're looking like, as it stands, it would be Roma. Would you guys rather have Roma or Ajax in the next round? Luke Murphy says, we were rubbish today. I can't believe we played like that. Really frustrating. These guys get paid thousands a week but can't play positive, attractive football. Drives you mad. The thing is, I don't know if this is on the players or on Ole. Because I feel like it's on Ole. The fact that he brought Matic on for Pogba instead of Donny van de Beek made me feel that Ole wanted to play negative football and just protect the 1-0 lead rather than go for 2-0. The players frustrate me. The players should be playing better. That was a lineup of Pogba, Bruno. We expect more. But is it Ole making them play this negative football? I think a big problem is protecting the slow centre-backs, not having a quick centre-back, not having a CDM, and not having a right winger, a creative right winger. I think they're 3 positions we all know we need. But is it Ole or is it the players? Because I think when Ole brought on Matic instead of Van der Beek for Pogba, it made me think Ole doesn't want to win 2-0. He wants to win 1-0, protect the thing. And if we win 2-0, he'll take it, because Ole was bloody lucky. Ajax amazing at comebacks. Yeah, and also bottling to Tottenham. I'd rather play Ajax. I think it'd be a more open game, more exciting game. I think Roma would be such a boring game. I'd rather play Ajax, my opinion. Damn, a dominant 2-0 win. We weren't tested. That's what I saw. We weren't dominant. We were crap. We were lucky, but they weren't. Granada were crap. They didn't. Granada never looked like scoring. They caused De Gea more problems than we caused their keeper. But we definitely weren't dominant. No way. We had possession, but we didn't do anything with it. We didn't create shit. Streaker man of the match. That's what most people are saying. Aiden says the CDM is so important in the summer. Can't keep compensating with Fred or McTomminay. I need to allow Pogba or whoever is there to be able to push forward and not panic and needing to stay back. Let me just check what the time is. Okay, I'm going to end the stream in the next 5 minutes, so make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe down below. I'm going to read out a few more chats before I end the stream, so come on, like, subscribe this video, guys. I want Arsenal to win and put the racist team in the bin. Yeah, Slavia Prague, got a racist player. I wouldn't say they were a racist team. They have a racist player. But yes, the reason I want Arsenal to win is so if Villarreal win, Unai Emery manages them. And the reason I want Arsenal to win this game is because I would love Unai Emery to knock Arsenal out the Champions League. How brilliant would that be if Unai Emery knocked Arsenal out the Champions League? I think it'd be bloody class. No Maguire and Shaw next Thursday or McTomminay, but people say no, McTomminay isn't a big loss. Everybody joining, please hit that like button and subscribe down below. I completely agree we need to give Van der Beek more game time. I completely agree. Thoughts on James Garner's amazing form. I mean, he's been brilliant at Forest, but for me, I don't think he's quite ready for United, but maybe get him on loan to Brighton. Now, obviously, if you're new to the stream, this is my 5 things we learned from the game, and it's the match reaction. The first thing we learned was that, I'm just going to go over this for the new people to the stream, was that I think Ole got away with one. I think Rashford needed a rest. He was lucky that Rashford scored. I think Ole got away with one. I think he was lucky. I think it paid off. The second thing I think we learned was Lindelof was man of the match. And my unpopular opinion was I thought Tellers was brilliant in the second half, putting those crosses in, causing problems. Like, Tellers put a lot of crosses in. I think Tellers caused a lot of problems for the opposition. Tellers' cross obviously caused the penalty. I thought Tellers was the best player in the second half. I thought Lindelof was the best player in the first half. The first thing we learned was I think Ole was lucky. For me, Rashford just needed a rest. I think he should have took Rashford at half-time for Cavani, because I thought, again, back to Tellers, I think with Tellers' crossing, could Cavani have got a header on one of his earlier crosses? I think Cavani should have come on at half-time for Rashford. I thought Rashford was good, but he was playing with an injury. The third thing we learned was it wasn't a good performance from Manchester United. We didn't create many chances. Again, another performance, guys. Well, Man United don't create many chances. It's another game where we have a lot of the ball, but we don't do anything with it. With a poorer team. It's another game where I just watch Man United and we go, we do nothing with the ball with a poorer team. And that did really frustrate me. My fourth thing we learned was, Ole was definitely playing for the 1-0 win. He was going very Jose Mourinho. The fact that Ole put Matic on and not Donny showed that Ole would rather protect the 1-0 lead than go for 2-0. The fact that Matic came on instead of Donny Van der Beek shows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would rather protect the 1-0 lead than win 2-0. And that's very Jose Mourinho style. Donny should be coming on before Matic. If you think Donny should have been subbed on for Pogba instead of Matic, hit that like button, because I think that shows that Ole's Mourinho style. But I think the tie is done. Unless they score 3 goals, I think the tie is done. Thank you very much, Cyberwez, for the £5 super chat. That means a lot. I'm going to end the stream in 5 minutes, so I'm just going to read out a few more chats. Hello to Lewis, that's football. Please subscribe if you're new. Only 6 likes needed for 50 likes. Everybody watching, just slap that like button. Ole needs to change the coaching staff in the summer. The football's not sustainable. The football we played today was awful. It was Mourinho style. We had a lot of the ball. We created nothing. You have Pogba and Bruno on the pitch, and we create nothing. Like, that's Ole. I mean, Pogba and Bruno maybe underperformed. Maybe we need a top CDM. Maybe the reason we create nothing is because we don't have a top CDM. But you have Pogba and you have Bruno on the pitch, and you create nothing. What is the time? Okay, the time is nearly 11 p.m, so it's getting a bit late, but we created nothing. We had all that possession, but when David De Gea had more saves to make than the Granada goalkeeper, and the fact that Ole then goes and puts Matic on for Pogba instead of Donny van der Beek shows that it was very, very Mourinho of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Very defensive, frustrating defensive football. We were not going for the goal. We just did not look like scoring, and it really, really frustrated me. Like, I'm Ole in because we won the game. We're second. We might win the Europa League. but I think Ole could be sacked by Christmas because I think Ole's a lucky manager. And if this luck won't continue, we spent 75 million on Donny and Dali and they can't get minutes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Still need to get Declan Rice and try Lingard. Yeah, I did a video earlier about we using Lingard to get money off Declan Rice. I think we could get Declan Rice. It would be humiliation against Arsenal. It would be fun. But yeah, hello to everybody joining the chat. Please subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 13k. Am I Ollie out? I'm Ollie in. Boarding Glaze is out. I'm Ollie in, my boarding Glaze out. But today, Ollie's tactics management was awful. This is the 5th, 6th game in a row where I've been actually bored watching Manchester United because we've been outplayed. We've been outplayed by a team 10 times shitter than us. We've been outplayed by a team 10 times worse than us. So yes, I am Ollie in, but because we're getting the results and it's lucky. But this is like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th game in a row where we've been outplayed. We've had possession. We haven't created chances. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming in. How did McTomminay wasn't great. Do you think the weather was the problem because it was hot there? No, we're not Klopp. We're not going to play about the weather. Yeah, cheers to Diego for supporting me. Do you even think with singing football is going to change? I can't wait till fans are back. I think when fans are back, Ollie can't play like this. When fans are back, I can't wait till fans are back. We are squashing the defence and it's showing to stop goals from going in, and LVG's done all the time. It was very Louis van Gaal today. I agree. It was boring. We've had 5, 6, 7 games in a row where we've almost been outplayed. We've been lucky. We've got the result. I mean, Leicester, we obviously didn't get a result, but we've been outplayed. We've been boring, and we haven't created much. Who would you play in a midfield 3 in the second leg with McTomminay suspended? Fred, Pogba, Bruno, or Fred, Donny, Bruno? I think because I think the leg is done. I think because the tie is done, I play Fred, Donny, Bruno. I think Donny needs to play with Bruno. I give Pogba a rest for the Premier League because I think the tie is done, and I think Donny can do a little bit more defensively than Pogba. So I play Fred, Donny, Bruno. Do you think? I can't wait till the fans are back. And Van Gaal, Mourinho, now Ollie. Yeah, honestly, defensive, boring football. But yeah, that's my 5 things we learned at instant match stretch from the game. If you're joining the stream late, just wind back to the beginning because I actually go through my 5 points in depth, and obviously you can see my 5 things we learned here, and I go through them in depth about talking about Ollie's subs, the Mourinho style football, the poor performance, underperforming from Man United. I talk about all these 5 points in detail. So if you are new to the stream, go back because I've done my player ratings a good 20 minutes ago. I've done the 5 things we learned a good 20 minutes ago, and I also looked into the stats and the game numbers and more. So if you are new, just scroll back, and if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe down below. I want to get to 100 likes. So if everybody watching right now could hit the like button, thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. It means a lot. Look, I'm glad we got the result. Wasn't the best performance, but we got the result, and that's all that matters. But yeah, Streaker was man of the match. Hit that like button if the Streaker was your man of the match. Hit that like button if Streaker was man of the match. Thanks everyone for tuning in.